The Acer Predator Helios 500 looks like a pretty powerful gaming laptop, so let's see how well it performs in 16 different games at all setting levels. Just quickly before we jump into the benchmark results, I'll cover off the specs in my unit. There's an Intel i7-8750H CPU, Nvidia 1070 graphics, and 16GB of DDR4 memory running at DDR4 2666 in dual channel. It's also got a 1080p 144Hz screen, so it'll be interesting to see which games can take advantage of this. Other than that, I was running Windows 10 with the latest Nvidia drivers, so let's see how well it runs. Fortnite was running well regardless of setting level. Even at epic settings, it played great. High settings or below were needed to average above the refresh rate of the panel, with low settings giving us 1% lows above the refresh rate for really smooth gameplay. Overwatch was tested playing with the bots, and again, really nice results. Although the 1% lows are a fair bit behind the averages here, it didn't really matter as they're still quite high. Even at epic settings, to me the game played great. PUBG was tested using the replay feature, and we're getting pretty good results, even at ultra settings. Definitely playable, which usually isn't the case for many laptops, thanks to the 1070 graphics. CSGO was tested using the Uletical benchmark, and the results were pretty good. Quite high average frame rates, and even the dips in performance in this test weren't that bad. Rainbow Six Siege was tested with the built-in benchmark, and even at Ultra the 1% lows are only just behind the refresh rate of the panel, so it should work very well regardless of setting level. Far Cry 5 was also tested with the built-in benchmark, and we're seeing fairly high frame rates in this test compared to most other laptops. The 1070 is really helping out a lot here. Assassin's Creed Origins was another that was tested with the built-in benchmark, and yet again, pretty good frame rates for this test, as this tends to be a more intensive title. Dota 2 was tested using a fairly intensive replay, so this should be a worst case scenario. Realistically, you'll probably get better results than this while actually playing. And despite this, the frame rates here are still pretty good for this benchmark. Testing Battlefield 1 in the first campaign mission ran great, even at ultra settings. Although the 1% lows are a fair bit behind and don't change too much between setting levels, I didn't personally notice any dips in performance. It played great. Rise of the Tomb Raider was tested with the built-in benchmark, and even at max settings we're able to average above 100 FPS in this test, which is quite good for a laptop. Ghost Recon was also tested with the built-in benchmark and is a more demanding game. Unfortunately, not excellent performance at Ultra, but that's just the nature of this game. It runs pretty well at any other setting level though. Watch Dogs 2 was also on the more demanding side. However, I personally don't think it needs a high frame rate to play. But even with ultra settings, the averages are fairly high for this title. I can play it no problem with a solid 40 FPS, but that's just me. The Witcher 3 is also performing well. Although even with Hairworks disabled, ultra settings were still a fair bit lower compared to the other setting levels. However, I still thought it played alright. Doom was tested using Vulkan, and we're seeing high average frame rates even at ultra settings. No problems at all playing this game, and it ran smoothly the whole time. Shadow of War was tested with the built-in benchmark, and the results here are pretty nice compared to other laptops that I've run the game on due to the 1070 graphics. Ashes of the Singularity was also tested with the built-in benchmark as more of a CPU-heavy game, and the results aren't too bad due to the 6-core 8750H. While the Nvidia 1060 is a sweet spot for 1080p 60fps gaming with good settings, I think the 1070 is a great choice for taking things to the next level if you're looking at a laptop with a 144Hz display. It of course depends on the games that you're playing and the settings that you're comfortable with. However, as we've seen, many of the games tested here are getting pretty high frame rates due to the Nvidia 1070 graphics. I haven't yet tested undervolting or overclocking, as this will vary between laptops based on the hardware, but I'll cover those in future videos along with detailed temperature testing. This is just how the laptop performs out of the box in a number of different games, as this is likely how most people will probably end up using it. So how do you guys think the Acer Helios 500 gaming laptop did in these games? As we've seen, it's going really well. All of these games are running great with good settings, and in theory we should be able to expect a little better with the i9 model. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for the full review of the Acer Predator Helios 500 gaming laptop, as well as future tech videos like this one.